Hello and welcome to Talk Time. We have only a few months to the general elections, and there are all kinds of things happening now. Parliamentary campaigns, presidential campaigns, and so on. So this week, we are going to spend some time talking to somebody who knows his stuff, who knows the ground, and who knows what it takes to campaign to become an MP. Welcome to Talk Time. Welcome back to Talk Time, and we are discussing elections this year. And we'll have some focus on parliamentary elections. And we are so very privileged to have with us a member of parliament for Lower Manya Krobo, the Honorable Ebenezer Terlabi.
Yes.
Honorable, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew Kwesi.
We have entered the season, haven't we?
Certainly.
How is it for you?
Well, it's looking good. Well, Lower Manya, has always been a seat for the NDC, but not without, the usual fight, but at the end of the day, NDC would always emerge winners, in that constituency. So we are expecting same to happen this year, come December, 7th, 2024. Yeah.
How long have you been in Parliament?
This is my third term, and I'm going to battle for my fourth term. Yeah.
Wow. You're going for the fourth.
The fourth term, yeah, that's right.
What is the trick? Some people go for only one term and then they are kicked out.
Yes. You need to endear yourself with the people. Identify yourself with the people and listen to them. And I would say that in spite of the fact that Lower Manya is a stronghold of the NDC, Lower Manya is politically very active. Internal elections, very tough. Then the general one. But the key is be close to the people. Let them understand you so you understand them. And I think that has been my trump card. I'm always with them. When the need arises, if I have to stand up for them, I do. So let me say that I am with them. Through thick and thin. So they identify with me and I do same. And I think that is what is keeping me.
Your internal primaries,
yes,
and the elections. Yes. Which one is very
The internal one is tougher. As I said, Lower Manya politically very active, and sometimes when other colleagues tell me they are going unopposed, I ask, what is it that makes them go unopposed? And sometimes throughout their life in Parliament, nobody comes up to contest them. But Lower Manya, no. I think the least we had ever since I became member of Parliament is 3 people. We always have above 3. And the campaigns starts immediately after the elections. So every move, everything you do counts against you in the next primaries and even the general elections. So you have to be very careful the way we deal with the people from the day you are elected as the PC till the next election. So whatever you do or you are doing, will count, and it would work against you or would help you win the next election. So it's like, the cycle keeps on and on and on. There's no break. And that's the reason why I said you have to be with the people. In fact, my predecessor, Honorable Michael Tenyano, did same until I came in, and in fact, it was keenly contested that election. I beat him by just 26 votes. Subsequently, other people also, have been coming to contest. But as I said, if you know your way around, and you identify with the people. And as I said, you have to be with the people. And I think for now, that has been the key to my being in Parliament up to now. Yeah.
In your constituency, the influence of money and so on, is it there?
Well, it is all over. In fact, the problem we have in this country is the fact that people are impoverished. Poverty is a big problem. And if we really want to have fair elections in this country, the first thing we must eliminate or reduce is poverty. But as I speak to Uncle Kwesi said, there was a time, the first time I became member of Parliament, when I was campaigning for the primaries, I went to a village. In fact, my constituency can be described as a peri-urban, but we have some serious villages or communities that are very much deprived. I went to a constituency, I went to one of the communities, and I was interacting with the aged. And in fact, when I was leaving, I thought I didn't have money that day. So one of the women approached me, and I had just 5 cedis, Uncle Kwesi. I had 5 cedis. That was the last thing I had in my wallet. Then I just, reluctantly, I felt, giving 5 cedis to somebody, When I gave the 5 cedis to the old lady, she was in tears. Apparently that day, she did not even know what she was going to eat. Because even if they have farms, they need money to buy salt. They need money to buy, fish or meat and other things to add. And in fact, the way the woman reacted when I gave that money to her tells you the extent of poverty in that community. And therefore, anybody can use money to influence such persons, unless the person is so much convinced or convicted of, his or believes in other things. Otherwise, money is key when it comes to our politics in the country now. And I said, and as I believe it is purely because people are jobless, they don't have money. You wake up there, you don't know what to eat the next moment. Mm-hmm. And they have children. You cannot stop them from having children. So the problems are many, and the solution is money. So if somebody pops up with money, the person can easily, influence them. So it is there. It is there. It is very pervasive. And we need to really, if we want to have fair and square elections in this country, then we must work our way. Talking about it alone will not do anything. Talking about it will not help. Because the people are there. They are hungry. They are jobless. And you are telling them when the politician brings money, they shouldn't take. They might even eat you up if they get that opportunity. Mm-hmm. So it is there. We have it.
So what are we doing about the poverty of the people? I mean, parliamentarians, you go everywhere, people are demanding money and so on. Yes. You know that the problem is poverty. Yeah. It's affecting you, it's affecting the people and so on. What are you doing to alleviate this level of poverty?
Uncle, you see, this comes back to the question, the responsibility of members of parliament, our responsibility as lawmakers and the people who have oversight responsibility, over government operations, expenditure, everything. But in fact, one thing that is, I must say, hampering that single function or business as having oversight is seriously being hampered by the very nature of our governance system, where members of parliament are made ministers, members of parliament chair boards, they are members of boards. You can imagine if you are a member of a board, and issues about the same board comes before parliament, of which you are a member, how do you really handle the situation? There's that conflict of interest. And then the ministers, because of the number of ministers that come from parliament, the executive has direct, if not absolute control over, especially when the numbers, in fact, this time around, we are lucky to have parliament with equal numbers. That, you know, is phenomenal. I mean, it has never happened before in our history. It has happened. And yesterday I was listening to one of my colleagues from the other side. And in fact, I think you were on the program with him. And he said something that was very, very significant. He said, look, now they have realized that a hung parliament is more powerful than even the executive. And that if the parties would spend more time or spend their resources in sponsoring more qualified persons into parliament, it will help than just spending on the presidential elections, winning and having a very weak parliament. Because as to quote him, doing the right thing now is more difficult than any other thing in this country now. And in fact, you need people who are right thinking, people who are ready to help this country out of the situation you find ourselves. And the caliber of people that we have in parliament is so very, very important. People who can assert themselves. People who cannot be easily influenced by anything. I mean, if it is right, it's right. And it is very difficult to find such persons now in the current arrangement that we have. Because if you have a situation where the executive is dictating to you, directing, I mean, you think that your future, it's tied to your president. Definitely, you will dance to the tune of whatever he's. So, we need to do something about the kind of arrangement that we have in parliament or the governance structure. Otherwise, it is going to continue. It is going to continue.
It has been said that some of you actually borrow money for your campaigns. Is that true?
Yes, we do.
Why would you borrow money for your campaign? You want to serve the people.
Yes, because you see, right now as I speak to you, I'm coming from the constituency where the EC has decided that this limited registration will be at the district office. And with a little pressure, with some pressure from the political parties, especially the NDC, they decided to add some temporary booths, 2 of them, and they were going to, operate just 2 days in those places. Yesterday I went to Akusi. For the whole day, they registered only 14 people. And if you look at
the whole of Akusi,
yes. And if you look at the constituency, it spans from Akusi, and we share borders with Asisawa. And the EC office is situated in Nwaso, which is, let me say, in the middle. We have Pong, we have other villages, and sometimes you would have to take about 3. If you are saying from Agbehiga Poponya, you have to come by motorbike to Obopa, then take Trotro to Odumasi, then take another one to Nwaso to go and get registered. Definitely, Kwesi. Now, people, the premium on voted ID card is diminished, or doesn't exist now, apart from voting with it. Hitherto you needed it for your bank transactions and whatever. Now we have the Ghana card. So you need to really persuade the people, let them understand that they need to vote. And in doing so, you would have to necessarily support their movement from wherever they are to. So you have to hire buses. Now, if you're a member of parliament who takes home about 13,000 cedis, that is plus the loans that you have, plus the loans that you owe. Because when we come, from election fresh, you are owing, you will be owing. So you would want to get some loan to settle. You are going to pay for your car and other things. They don't give us fuel. So we go up borrowing left, right, and center. So when it comes to times like this where you need to be basing people, in the right way, assisting them from like a who bears the cost? You have to, because if you talk about stakeholders, you are one of them, and people look up to you. And if you don't, they see that as an irresponsibility. So you necessarily have to look for money. Where are we going to get the money from? You need to borrow. So in fact, I must tell you, there are some members of parliament who at the end of the month do not even take home 1,000 Ghana cedis, because they are owing so much, and the cycle continues.
So why are they there?
You see, well, if you ask me the same question, I was teaching at the University of Science and Technology, and sometimes it is only when you get there that you really understand what is going on. Because here you have committed yourself, and sometimes you wish that you never did that. You have taken a certain step. In my case, for instance, if I should go back right now, students that I thought are now professors and whatever, and sometimes it will be very uncomfortable to go back and be working under such people. Maybe I may, but not everybody can do that. Even vice chancellors, sometimes when they retire at when their term ends at an age that you can continue working, sometimes some of them even find it very difficult to come and work under somebody else, and it's all over. So sometimes it's not because we are not having problems, but because there are no alternatives. Going back is more difficult than staying in there. So you would want to be there in spite of the problem that we have, and keep hoping that something good would come out of your being a member of parliament. But as I said, we keep borrowing. After borrowing, we have to, because most of the things would have to take care of them, and it is money. And if you don't have it, the sure way is going to the bank, or even borrowing from unconventional sources where you have to pay interest.
But I hear that sometimes you borrow from very unusual places.
Like
banks, for
example. Banks, we do, yes. In fact, the banks, they come, because at the end of the day, they think that we are credit worthy, because it will be something else if my name is published by Ghana Commercial Bank that I'm owing and I'm not paying. You wouldn't like to do that. So they think that we are more credit worthy, and they can easily find us. You only have to write to the speaker, and they will get Terlabi to come and pay your loan. So if they are giving you, they are more safe, and we are more reliable, sort of, and more credit worthy, because our identities are, you can easily find us wherever we are. So that is it. So,
but this should also mean that it's not easy at all to get into parliament.
No, not at all. It is not, Uncle. It is not. It is, aside fighting, the primaries, contesting the primaries and spending on the primaries, you would also have to battle it out, in the general election. And as I said, some of the things are unavoidable. In fact, some of the expenses, some of them are avoidable, some of them are self-inflicted. If you want to use money, if you think that the people do not like you, and the only way is to induce them with money, that is your business. But as I said, there are some of the things that are basic, like ferrying people, assisting them to come to polling, centers. And if you look at how the villages are scattered, you want to go and campaign, and you want people to come, so you listen. They listen to you. They won't come on their own. You have to bring them to a center to talk to, and in the process, you might incur some debt. I mean, those ones are genuine. And then when they come, I mean, you can imagine somebody walking a distance of about 10 kilometers to come and attend a program, and you don't even provide water when the person is going back. You have to either provide a vehicle or you give them some transport, to go back. Otherwise, the next time you invite them, they will not come. They will not come. Yeah.
Okay, viewers, we're going to take a short break. We are talking to the Honorable Member of Parliament from Lower Manya Krobo. We are talking about his experiences. We are talking about what they call the political season. When we come back, I'd just like to find out from him what it has been like staying in Parliament for 3 terms, 12 years.
Yes.
And what his achievements in Parliament may be. Short break. Welcome back to Talk Time, and we're in a conversation with the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Lower Manya Krobo constituency, my very good friend, Honourable Terlabi.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
You have been in Parliament for 12 years.
Yes, Uncle.
Your experiences?
Well, that's been sweet and sour. You are happy when you are elected. You have all your intentions and dreams. Sometimes there are surprises. For instance, the first time I got to Parliament, I was privileged to have been made a deputy minister of the Eastern region before I became a member of Parliament. And honestly, I did not really get close to Parliament before I went to Parliament. So there were a few things that I had some assumptions. When I got to Parliament and they told us you have to go and look for accommodation. My first day, I had to comb. In fact, I came to Jowlu. I went round looking for accommodation. And sometimes you meet the landlord and will tell you have to pay 3 years, 4 years. And I asked myself, I came with the idea because I knew that members of Parliament had a place at Sakumono at the time. So I thought with my government in power, when it comes to maybe allocation, I may be given that opportunity, But I had to go around and look for accommodation. But that was my first, surprise. And then subsequently, I became, committees were, formed. I was a member of a local government committee, as well as the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology. Maybe fortunately, because of my background, I was made the vice chairman of the Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation. At the time, I've forgotten the chairman of the committee. And in fact, at our first meeting, I realized that whatever I thought I knew coming to Parliament, Parliament was a different place altogether. You needed to really understand the workings of Parliament to be able to really fit in and become relevant. Otherwise, you go sit there, and if you don't take care, not that you are not knowledgeable, but you cannot take opportunity. I mean, you cannot grab the opportunity that will come, so that you can make the necessary interventions and impact that you have to. So I decided to school myself by really understanding the old ones that are there. And I remember the current speaker inviting some of us and advising us that we shouldn't think that we are university professors and that the classroom is different from the Parliament. And indeed, I took that seriously. So I decided to look at take parliamentary, proceedings very seriously, and other things like standing orders and whatever. I spent a lot of time to study, those guidelines, and I think that that made me fit in a little early, and it helped in me contributing in various meetings and proceedings in Parliament. And sometimes I rise and make comments, and I go back and look at the tape, and I criticize myself. I tell myself, you could have said this better, you could have done this and that. And I must say that, we are still learning, though 12 years. There are a lot of things that we still have to really grapple with. Because in Parliament, you don't just get up and do anything. You work under leadership who will be giving you directions and things like that. So it's as I said, sweet and sour. When it comes to the finances, my first meeting, as usual, I thought I was going to be giving some sitting allowance. I went, there was nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing. So, and then, what again? I'm sure there's a lot. I mean, a lot of issues that will have to come up and things like that. I mean, there's a lot.
What is the relationship between government MPs or MPs belonging to the governing party and MPs belonging to the opposition? Because normally when we see you, you are fighting.
Yes,
so
yes.
What is the exact relationship between the two sides?
Well, some of us knew ourselves before we became members of Parliament. So, at that level, we see ourselves as neighbors, friends. But when it comes to issues, especially where the party has taken a decision, for instance, when this current government brought this, the issue of e-levy, we took a decision that we were not going to go with it because it was regressive. So we will not. And in fact, when it comes to issues like that, you see us sharply divided. Aside that, as I said, we have that relationship. When you come to Parliament, we sit at the coffee shop. We have time, and even during those occasions, there are instances where issues come and we argue it out. Serious. Oh my goodness.
How is it going to affect us? Please continue.
Yeah. So, yes, our relationship, is there. Some of them founded on the fact that we've been working at the same place, we live in the same area, we come from the same community, we grew up together. That relationship is there. But when it comes to issues that has to do with our party and the principles that we all, have to abide by, that division is always there. And sometimes it goes beyond that. Others, are able to control their emotions. Others are not. We are human beings. So sometimes emotions flare up and people insult each other. Use intemperate language. But at the end of the day, we come out and we are the same people. So that relationship is there. Is there. There are some who have their brothers on the other side, Abujinapo and whatever. But you see, when it comes to standing by our principles, you will not even, I'm sure Abu Jinapo will not even remember that John is his brother. But at the end of the day, when they go home, I'm sure they have their party together, but not when we have to disagree on issues. Yeah.
Now, Honorable,
Yes, sir.
Were you ever in Parliament to somewhere like PC Apiofori?
No. Unfortunately, I did not meet him. But you see, I admire him from far. And I must say that those days when I was on campus, we used to have a place we always meet to have drinks. And PC Apiafuri and this man from, I've forgotten his name. One of them, I didn't meet them in Parliament, but we used to discuss them a lot, especially when the issue about Vodafone came up, and he came out to tell the whole world that some underhand dealings, took place. In fact, we used to discuss him a lot, but I have never met him, I never met him in Parliament.
PC Apiafuri used to make some very serious allegations of inducement from government.
Yes,
was he speaking the truth? What is the experience in Parliament?
Because I will not sit here and say no, in the sense that every government will want to push through its agenda, and whichever way, especially when the government believes that this is what is going to help the government succeed, they will do everything. And if you find yourself in that situation, you will do everything. And as human beings, people would want to capitalize on your weakness, because if you know that members of parliament are not well paid, they have difficulty, they have challenges, there are a lot of things that they have to go through, you would attempt to use money. And I must say that not all members of parliament would accept that. Some will accept, others will not accept. So it is true. They will come, but it all depends on. Sometimes when government or whoever is championing the bill brings in something and you decide to take, that is your decision. But as to whether that would influence what you are supposed to do is another thing. And once you are individuals, people react differently. But it is a fact that some inducement from government comes, and it depends on who brings in and who they talk to and how the person reacts. That is a fact, and I will not sit on TV and deny. That will be being untruthful. And I think that what he said is correct, because you see, he said those things because of what he also saw. Because he came out to say that some $5,000 were given to members of parliament to approve. I wasn't there, but once he was involved himself, and at the time I didn't know whether he said he didn't take. I don't know whether he took it or he didn't take it. But then, even currently, you hear snipers of that this is happening, and once it is human beings that are involved, I do not doubt it, and I don't contest it at all. No.
One area which has surprised many people is the use of your powers to approve some appointees.
Yeah.
Sometimes we approve people and we are sitting in the parliament saying,
what is this?
How did this come about?
Yeah,
what happens?
Again, Uncle, sometimes if you listen to members of parliament, and when it comes to appointment, especially when sitting members of parliament are made ministers, sometimes you realize that this is somebody that maybe you have been on a committee with for a very long time. You have established a certain relationship with. So it becomes very difficult. Very, very difficult. Because people have personal relationships with, colleagues on the other side. So such persons, unless something else happens, they find it very, very difficult. And in fact, to be honest with you, some of them, when we meet in our caucuses and we take decisions, they own up, they tell us that this man has been my friend since, and I don't see how I can go and vote against him. They say it. Some of them say, oh, I have personal relationship with this person, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to vote for the person. In the mix of all of this, we go in there to go and cast our secret ballots, which you will not be there. They count, and some will go and vote for people you don't expect them to vote for, and some don't vote for people you expect them to vote for. So it's a mix, and it is all because of what I said, because of this relationship. But as to whether money inducement also comes in, that is another thing altogether. That's another thing altogether. But I have been in a caucus meeting where colleagues have said to us that, oh, this is my friend, this is that. If you see me with him, it doesn't mean that I'm going to vote for him. Others too have said in private and in public discussions that, oh, I've been with this person for a very long time. How on earth do you expect me to go and vote against the person? Even if the party says no. But sometimes if the party decides to use the three-line whip, that people are forced to, toe the line of a party. But where sometimes party, at the end of the day, everything is loosely done and people are left on their own to take decisions, then you have situation arising where, the general consensus is that, this person should not, be passed. But because of personal in relationships and other things, they end up going to vote for, people that generally, when you look at public opinion, I don't want to mention names, but there were instances where people were interviewed, people came for vetting, and people saw how they performed, and you listen to people and they think that, oh, because of this performance, this person is not going to be passed or whatever. But at the end of the day, people go and vote for the person. And I said it is sometimes because of personal relationships that people have established over a very long time, and that is very difficult to deal with when it comes to situations like that, especially when they are not on policies.
Is that not a defect?
It is. But as I said, you see, for instance, some of the argument, not my, but what I hear is that, even if we don't approve of this person, the president is not going to give that position to us. Mm-hmm. That is one of the things that sometimes they say. Now, if you don't approve of him, he's not going to appoint you. Mm-hmm. And the president, like the president has done now, the president can just ask the person to go acting and be enjoying all the perks. So sometimes these are some of the reasons why people do what they do.
But it is best to do things on the basis of principle.
Certainly. But as I said, we are human beings. The reason why one can say that such a person is emotionally not intelligent, or this part, emotionally is intelligent, it depends on the way you react to situations. There are people who generally are not principled. They say one thing today, tomorrow they are saying another thing. So you will find all of these people among the various caucuses. And you see, without those deviants too, the life will be too one way. Once a while.
But sometimes inside the different caucuses themselves, you have conflict. You fight.
Yeah, we have.
What are some of the issues that you fight?
Well,
Haruna Idrisu's removal?
Yes, Haruna Idrisu's removal was something that nearly, and to be honest, it nearly divided our front, because it was a surprise to most of us. But I believe that some of the matured ones amongst us really prevailed on the young ones. But not age, but to really understand the dynamics and the influence of the party. And I wouldn't say, honestly, that up till now people do not have some bitterness. Mm-hmm. They may, but suppressed, sort of. And I think that after that incident, the party itself came out to say that we're going to find a way of getting members of parliament involved in choosing leadership going forward. So that's what we are waiting for, to see it happen. And I believe that when we do that, it will help all of us. And, you know, the same thing happened on the other side. On the other side, where Chimensa was removed. And it also brought a lot of... In fact, in our case, we didn't organize press conferences to do what the others did. But they did. So, in fact, it is both sides. And, in fact, those things, sometimes, if not managed properly, can lead to division. But I must thank God that in our case, we're able to resolve our issues very early. And now, I'm sure that if there are people who do not, who are peeved, sort of, it is not that much that can influence decisions of leadership and things like that. No, we are better off now. Yeah.
How come that you have 137 members? The other side has 137 members. And you accept to call yourself minority.
In fact, in Parliament, we take guidance from the Speaker. And a lot of the time,
even when the Speaker is wrong.
That is another thing. Because when you are in doubt, you ask the Speaker. And it's the Speaker that rules and gives direction. So, in order that we would have some semblance of peace, anytime the Speaker rules, sometimes you are tempted to challenge, but then we tend to go more with his guidance and ruling, so that we will have peace to do, a business in Parliament. It is not that we don't disagree. Sometimes we disagree, but at the end of the day, we give him the benefit of the doubt, because when it comes to experience, he has that experience more than any of us in Parliament. He's been a member of Parliament, being a leader and deputy speaker, now speaker. So at least we look up to him. And I believe that some of his decisions, if they are in bad taste, he himself will correct them along the way.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for coming to the studio, and we do hope that you will come back again and again as the process unfolds.